Following on daily from Colombo, it's our travel day today, Harmy. I said yesterday we weren't going to do a podcast, but here we are doing a pod. We're from Colombo. We're just about to leave Colombo to go to Kandy today. But just before we leave Colombo, just the reflections on the ODI series for England, because winning in Sri Lanka is no mean feat. You saw India not do it, Australia haven't done it in Sri Lanka, so it's a great achievement from this side.
An absolute brilliant achievement from a side who, was struggling going into it. A lot of noise, whether it was the ODI stuff or the hangover from the Ashes. Colombo's been a beautiful place. It always is. I'm sad to leave. It's a wonderful city. England are, I think, ready now. I think going to the World Cup preparation up in Kandy, but I think what we've seen in Colombo, I think we can happily say that some of the England players are on the right track. I know one of them is Joe Root. Joe Root's going to go home, and he's probably not going to pick a bat up now or play in a competitive game until probably May time for Yorkshire, leading into 4th of June's first Test match. And he'd be wanting a welcome rest. He was magnificent in this series, 50 in the first two, 100 in the last one. Player of the series. I think it's been a brilliant time in Colombo for Joe, and we've enjoyed bringing it here on talkSPORT 2 and talkSPORT the YouTube channel.
And you mentioned Joe. Joe is now flying home along with Zach Crawley, and after the game yesterday, hit 111 not out Joe Root, and after the game I spoke to the former England captain. So Joe, congratulations, the series wins. Just sum up your thoughts after that game.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good performance. I think throughout the series we've got better, we've grown, we've adapted to the conditions, we've learned all the lessons throughout and taken them into the next game, and I think that's a really good sign for the group. So a lot of confidence that we can gain off the back of this. We've had it tough of late away from home in this format. I think it showed a lot of character for us to respond how we have done and put in a series win like that in these conditions. I think no one's won here in 5 years in ODI cricket, so it's a really good achievement against a good side at home.
Just how much belief would that give this young group of players going forward in this format?
Yeah, it should give a huge amount of confidence and belief, and with what's to come as well. I'm not involved, but the T20s that follow this here in these conditions and then on to the World Cup, it's a great start to the tour and what they have ahead of them, and hopefully they can take a lot of confidence and spirit from that into what's next.
I remember we spoke on Saturday and you said it was a pretty dire wicket. What did you make of this playing service today?
I think the score suggests it's far better pitch today. It's still quite tricky at times, but I think the way that we managed the game was really good. We obviously didn't get off to the quickest of starts, but we didn't panic. We held on nerve. We knew what was going to be successful, and I thought we used good options out there and got ourselves into a position where we could take the game on a bit towards the back end. And the way Brookie played, it'd be wrong not to mention Beth. I thought his innings was exceptional, and then for Brookie to come in and sort of go through the gears and play like that towards the end, it's so hard for teams and for bowlers to stand up against that when he's in that kind of form and hitting it as cleanly as that.
Was it a plan for Jacob to sort of put the foot down and accelerate at some point? Because he sort of, as you said, kick-started that innings really. Yeah,
and I just thought the way that he managed his whole innings, it's quite a tricky time to come in, and at no point did we get stuck. We felt like we were rotating quite well throughout that whole stage and sort of taking pressure off each other. So I thought the way that he managed it and the way that he paced it, was slightly unlucky actually to not clear the rope, and it could have gone on to even bigger and better things. But again, another vital innings in getting us to where we needed to get to, and allow Brookie then to go on and play the innings that he did.
You mentioned Harry's innings twice, so I've got to ask you about it. He came in when you were on 65 and ended up overtaking you, which shows how good a knock it was.
It was incredible. Some of the striking was obscene really, especially towards the back end. The options that he has and the ability and skill level that he has is remarkable really, and I think for him the more he can try and, it's difficult in the middle order in ODI cricket to be consistent, but he's definitely good enough to do it. He's shown his class in the short format and in Test cricket, so I think the more and more opportunities he gets and time he gets out there in the middle in those sort of situations, the more you'll see innings like that.
And how important was it for you guys before Harry to sort of lay that foundation, get through those tricky periods to allow Harry to do what he does best?
Yeah, I think you're just trying to play what's in front of you and understand what's likely going to be a good score on that wicket. And it did feel a little bit tricky to start with, but it seemed to get, once you got the rhythm of it and the pace of it, you could score a bit more fluently. And I think the fact that we had big, strong partnerships was the reason why we could go on and make those big scores. I think it was always going to be difficult starting, so recognising that and maximising the starts that we got was a big part of getting to that total.
And I remember Harry saying last week that he needs to regain the trust back from your sides, but there's no better way to do it through actions rather than words.
And I think he's clearly done that, hasn't he? You've seen, I think he's led extremely well throughout the 3 games. I think you watched an innings in the last game where he played the situation and what was required of him, and clearly today has shown his versatility and the options that he has and the ability he has to move games forward very quickly. So I think it's been a great series for him, and it's gone a long way in earning that trust back, I think.
It's a great series for him, but it's also a great series for you. It's the first time you've hit 50 in every game of an ODI series. What's the key to getting started on these services, and are you recognising sort of length and spin? What's the key to being successful?
I think just having a clear understanding of how you want to score and how you're going to play on a wicket like that. And I've got a lot of experience to call upon now, but it's used in that. And to be honest, a lot of today and this tour is all stuff that Graham Thorpe embedded in me a long time ago. That was pretty much everything that he's told me and taught me came out today. So I would not have been able to do that without him. I think more than anything, it's understanding length, being able to get right forward, right back, manipulate the ball, try and minimise your dot balls, and when you get your opportunities to get your boundaries, you take them.
And just finally, it's a nice way to round off the winter for you, because I know, not through, as I said to you the other day, it's not for a lack of effort that you come and the results don't go your way, but to round off a difficult winter with a series win must be satisfying.
Yeah, it is. It's always good, and like I say, for this team as well, building towards a World Cup, and it might be a little way away at the minute, but every game is an opportunity to bank experience, to bank knowledge, and to move forward as a team. And I think we've made big strides here in these conditions and learned and developed a lot of things out here.
So there we go, Harmy. That was Joe Root. A lovely line there about Graham Thorpe, and the way you said it last week, the way you talk about the late Norman Gifford who passed away this week. There's always people that leave an impact on your career, and Graham did that to Joe.
Graham did. Thorpe did. Thorpe left an impact on a lot of current players' career, former players in the sort of short term, and especially the ones he played with. I mean, Thorpe was an amazing man. He was complex soul at times, but an amazing man. Great to have a drink at the bar with, great to talk cricket with, and an unbelievable competitor on the field, out on the middle. Never forget that till my passing day. I'll never forget being in the middle with him in Barbados when we put on 40 or 50 to get us in a position to win that 3rd test match and win the series in Barbados. Thorpe was a magician with a bat. He was a gentleman in the dressing room, a character in the bar, a wonderful man, and what it sounds like and what we all knew, a great mentor to the likes of Joe Root, Joss Butler, Ben Stokes, and the like, who have been brilliant for our game.
So that's it for Colombo. That's it for the ODI series. We head to Kandy now to the T20 series. Just around about 4.5 hour drive. We're driving with George from the Barmy Army. So thanks to George for facilitating Harmy and I for the drive up. We're going to stop halfway through up to Kandy because it is a long drive. We are going to break it up. We are going to have some lunch. We'll see you when we stop off. So Harmy, 3 hours into the journey, we made a pit stop for some lunch on our way from Colombo to Kandy. It looks like we're not alone here. A load of tourist groups have come and joined us. Yeah, I mean, we got in the car. I was thinking 4.5 hours to Kandy, break the back of most of it, and then all of a sudden we've stopped. And the whole lot of here, not out travel, Gulliver's, Sports. I mean, ICT's here, Barmy Army's here, the whole lot of stops. So somebody's. It's either popular, we'll go and have some food in a minute, so it's either popular or somebody's got a friend in the management in this establishment and they're getting well looked after. And don't forget, we do have a competition to win a week for 2 in Cape Town for the 2027 New Year's Day test with the Barmy Army. See our previous videos for how to enter to that. But just talking about the amount of touring groups here, I think one of the things England tours bring is so much away support, and I don't think the players take it for granted, but being on the ground, we can see for ourselves just how many people come and follow England.
Absolutely, and I think that, yeah, you're 100% right. The players don't take it for granted. They do appreciate, no, speaking from experience, we do appreciate every support that we get. I mean, you get all the back end of days, and the way the cheer to make sure that you're sort of fulfilling the whole 6.5 hours when you're tired. Everything that goes, it doesn't go unnoticed. I mean, it's mentioned in the dressing room. With touring life, I mean, there's 6 white ball games here, 3 T20s, 3 ODIs. It's in a beautiful country. We've seen quite a lot of it as we're driving through. And when you come on a touring group and you come on a holiday like this, it is a holiday. Australia, you talk about the results are one thing. Disappointed that England didn't win, but you're in a place, you're in a part of the world which is fantastic. It really is. So yes, it's a 4-hour trip from Colombo to Kandy, but you get to see the sights of the hills and the mountains and everything that goes between. I mean, this is one of the busiest roads going through, and everybody's got a horn, everybody's got to make a noise. It's fantastic. So it's more than just the cricket you're coming on holiday for. You come, you watch the cricket, but in days in between, the sights and the sounds of the local places are fantastic. The market stalls and everything that goes with it. I mean, it is a great life playing cricket for England, but it's also a nice time. You can have a really nice time following the England cricket team as well.
And one of the beauties of touring this part of the world is the scenery. And it's my first time here to Sri Lanka, Harmy, but the drive from Colombo to our pit stop here, we're about 90 minutes away from Kandy. Some of the scenery in this part of the world is beautiful on the drive up.
It is. I mean, it is. It's fantastic. And I think that makes the trip even more special when you come into Sri Lanka. Obviously, the hectic, when you go to India, it's a lot more hectic. There's a lot more people. There's a lot more noise. It's a little bit more fast forward. But coming to Sri Lanka is a beautiful country. It really is. It's a holiday destination. And when you do go through the streets and you do get onto the sort of main roads, I mean, there is a lot to look at. There really is. And that is, again, I keep coming back to the fact that you go to England, you support England, you want England to win. If the game finishes early, yes, you're there for the cricket. But sometimes you'd be surprised that when the games finish early, you might actually have a better time, whether England win or lose. You might have a better time because you get to see a lot more of the city and the destination and the country that you're going in. So, yeah, from Colombo to Kandy, it's a pretty picture.
The amount of people behind us, Harmy, we're in danger of missing out on some lunch here. So we're going to grab some food. Hopefully there's still some left that all these touring groups haven't at them all. And we'll talk to you when we arrive in Kandy. So Harmy, thanks to George and the Barmy Army, we've arrived in Kandy, a beautiful view behind us. It's a bit further up in the mountains, it's a little bit cooler than what Colombo was when we left first thing this morning. But just a couple of thoughts ahead of the T20 series. England are really ramping up preparations now. 3 games to get their plans in place before that T20 World Cup.
Yeah, great to be in Kandy. It was a trek, it was a journey up the hills. There was a JCB just literally filling a flatback lorry and just stopped in the middle of caused an absolute traffic jam like you'd not believe. But tuk-tuks wouldn't get out of the way, so it's single carriageway road. It is a beautiful country, this, but the infrastructure and the roads getting around sometimes can be a challenge. And if a workman wants to do what a workman needs to do, he's not bothered about how much traffic he holds up. So it took a little bit longer, but we're here. And looking forward to the T20s, which are going to go in preparation into what is going to be, I think, possibly a make-or-break World Cup for Brendan McCullum. There was a lot of noise around whether he carries on in post as England coach, and I think after what happened in Australia and the way things have been going, the noise that have been going, I think Brendan, more than anybody else, and I hope he does. I really do. I know I've been one that said, look, if there is accountability and there is somebody that probably should be removed, then it all lies on the coach, because the coach is the man that sets the tone. He sets a message. He makes the plans. He has the players. He picks the team along with the captains. And unfortunately, in the world of sport, coaches have to take responsibility. So it's a big World Cup for Brendan. I hope they do well, and their captain needs a big World Cup, and boy, did he not disappoint last night. It was a brilliant, breathtaking innings from Harry Brook, and England are going to need their leader. So with one or two coming into the squad, i.e. I think game changers in Jofra Archer and Phil Salt, I think England are stronger at this format than they were in the 50 over format. And I think in the 50 over format, the confidence that winning here in Sri Lanka, a series that teams have struggled to do, they've not been, Sri Lanka have won the last eight series here. I think hopefully that dressing room is going to bounce into the T20s and into the World Cup.
Yeah, England travelling up today. We travelled up, as you say. How many Netflix shows did you get through, by the way? I saw you watching your iPad.
I did.
I
watched.
I got through 5 podcasts.
I watched a film called. What was it called? Rip or something? The Rip.
It's obviously left an impression.
Yeah, it was a great film. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. And then I watched Dark State. Dark State, is it? Dark State or Deep State? Dark State. You'll kill me for saying this. Alistair Petrie, the actor who was in Sex Education and one or two other things. And there's actually a great series he's in with Hugh Laurie at this moment in time on TV. I watched that. He's in head of British intelligence, so if I got it wrong, Alistair, I really do apologise. But he's a great man, loves his cricket, always at the Oval. And when I seen that was on, I think it was on Disney. I watched it. I'm 3 episodes in on Disney, so I'm gonna continue to watch that because now I'm getting here, I've unpacked. My television's not working in my room, so I could be looking at my iPad for about 6 more days.
I was going to say, well, England are using this series to prepare for the World Cup. You used the journey to prep for. So you got a long flight home as well. You got a little stopover, so that could be the norm. You're watching that iPad.
When you live in the northeast of England and where I live, I was an hour from Durham when I played, so it was always a travel first thing in the morning, last thing at night to get to my home venue, and then when you played, 17 other first-class counties in England. I mean, that was always the beauty. Talking about travel, and we've had a good travel day the day. I mean, it was a breeze that for me, 4.5, 5 hours, an absolute breeze. I mean, talking about Brendan McCullum under a bit of pressure, and we got mate Keezy under pressure, and they always used to talk about teams, coming to Durham, and they were beating anybody around the M25 was struggling. They were beat. The bus had to stop twice. It was a miles away to get to there. They got to Leeds and thought they were there and still had 2 hours to go. It was freezing cold. And when they got there, the likes of myself and Graham Onions and Liam Plunkett, bowl bouncers out their head. So it wasn't a pleasant place to come, Durham, and it was a challenging place to get to. So, yeah, a 4.5 hour journey from Colombo to Kandy was a breeze for me.
So attention, as I say, turns to the T20 series now. After the ODI series, though, I spoke to Harry Brook. Let's hear what the England captain had to say. So Harry, a 2-1 series win, how satisfying is that for you?
Yeah, awesome, and obviously it's a little bit of a monkey off the back. We haven't quite managed to get across the line in the ODI series away, so it's nice to get that monkey off the back, like I say. Especially
going 1-0 down as well, the belief to come back and win the series from behind.
Yeah, definitely. None of our lads put their heads down. We always want to strive for better and more, and every game we were going out there to try and win and try our best, so it's a hell of an effort from the boys, and like you say, to go 1-0 down and then win 2-1 was just awesome.
Talk about your innings. How much fun did you have out there today?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Everything was clicking, and I was hitting the ball in the areas I wanted to, and it just felt good.
Do you feel a sense of that early doors after a couple of balls when you time a couple and think, oh, today could be my day here?
A little bit. The pitch was a lot better than I was expecting when I first went in. I obviously got off the mark first ball with a boundary, which is always nice, and then I middle one a couple of balls later, a sweep shot, and I thought, today could be an interesting day. So I'm glad it came off.
I remember you spoke last week and said you have to sort of regain the trust back with your players, but there's no better way to do that through actions, I guess, rather than words.
Yeah, definitely, and that's exactly how I wanted to do it. Really, I want to try and regain the trust as much as possible, and obviously I made that mistake, but the best way that you can do it, like you say, is to do it through actions and lead from the front.
And we spoke on Saturday, you said it was an unthrilling game on Saturday, but the pitch today, how did you find it?
It was miles better. It's a hell of a lot better watching boundaries and the ball flying to all parts as a batter. But no, it was a good game of cricket, and they played very well as well. To the way that they got off to an absolute flyer in the power play, it put us under pressure early doors.
And how important was it to keep your nerve at that point? 'Cause it felt like their power play was sort of played in fast forward. There was balls flying everywhere, just to keep you calm and stay committed to the game plan.
Yeah, like I said, they had an absolute flyer, and the Sanka started really well, 50 off 20 balls or whatever. But we always knew that if we got 1 or 2, 3 wickets, we were right back in it, and the run rate would go down. Obviously, I can't remember what his name is, but the lad got 100 as well. He played extremely well as well. The way that he plays spin is just ridiculous. He runs down nearly every ball. So, they put us under a hell of a lot of pressure, and they should be proud of the way they played.
Another player that plays spin ridiculously is Joe. The first time in an ODI series he's hit 50 at least in every single game. What is it about Joe that which makes him look so good on these type of services?
It's his ability to sweep and just get off the mark. He's scored 100 there, a runner ball, and he's hardly even hit the ball. He's hardly hit the ball in the air. So it's ridiculous batting. Very good patience as well. And his ability to manoeuvre the ball into different gaps and areas is probably the best in the world. So it's awesome to have in our side.
Is it inspiration for you that at 35 Joe seems to still be getting better?
Yeah, he looked a little bit stiff then walking to the press conference, but he's getting better and better every day. And you guys don't see it, but the way that he trains leading up to games and away from tours, there's no reason why. That's the reason why he's the best in the world, and arguably one of the best to have ever played the game.
And you've also worked quite hard on your fitness over the last couple of years. How much did that prove dividends today in this heat, batting in the afternoon?
Yeah, it helps a bit. Getting twos, especially in the gaps. It does make a massive difference, being able to just get your breath back quicker.
Just a word on Beth, because I thought his contribution sort of kick-started the innings really. He'd be filthy with himself for the way he got out, but his contribution sort of helped kick-start your innings today.
Yeah, and he's a very mature lad for a 22-year-old, and the way that he played today was awesome. That's exactly the template that we wanted to go about today. We were talking about 220 being a good score, but that partnership with Ruti and Beth was absolutely vital. That gave us the leverage going into the last 20 overs for me to go out there and do what I did.
I know you've got to change your format now, but just how much will that give confidence back to this side that you've got back-to-back wins, you've got a series win heading into the T20 series and obviously the World Cup that follows?
Yeah, and we've got stuff that we can look back on now as well. We've played in these conditions going into the World Cup as well. If we end up back in Sri Lanka, we know how we can play here. We know what's worked, and that gives us a lot of confidence going forward.
And just finally, just a light-hearted note, a quick word on your celebration. What was that about?
Yeah, it was more about celebrations after the series really, and like I said a few days ago, trying to regain the trust in the players, and like I said a minute ago as well, he's doing that by performing out there and leading well.
So that was Harry Brook there, Harmy. Just some news out of the England camp today, actually, on the way up. Ben Duckett suffered a finger injury taking a catch yesterday. They're going to assess him tomorrow, but you've always said put him in the top 3 for this T20 side. So if he wasn't fit for at least this first game, how would that change their plans? Obviously, you'd have Joss and Phil Salt at the top.
Yeah, I don't think it would change their plans too much. Everybody move up 1, or Jacob Bethel go up to number 3, leave Harry Brook at number 4, where I think he's going to bat in the World Cup. On these surfaces, you might want to experiment with Sam Curran going higher up the order, but you've also got to remember that you're prepping for a World Cup. So if you're prepping for a World Cup, going from Sri Lanka to India, similar-ish conditions, you really want your key men in where they're going to play in the World Cup. So utilising a Sam Curran up the order, you want him to stay in his position that he's going to have come Mumbai and Kolkata. So it'll be a delicate one. I hope Ben's all right. I really do. I think he's showed signs on this trip that he's starting to get back to his very, very best. And if he is have a little problem, and I said following on with Neil Manthorp the other day, if there is any doubt and he is going to miss some time, I think get him out of the environment, get him away from it, send him home, give him a chance to sort of refresh himself, because he's still got a long, busy winter to come, I think, for his own mental well-being. So I think if you're going to bring somebody in from outside, obviously that you aren't going to play in the World Cup, I think you try and shoehorn them in at number 3 and leave that place open for Ben Duckett to come back in and not have to move too many pieces around the chessboard when it comes to, you know, batting in the middle, finishing the death overs, because you want them to get used to that element of their game when it comes to, obviously, preparation for this going into a World Cup.
Harmy's off to try and sort his TV out. We'll be back for Following On Daily tomorrow. We'll hear from Phil Salt as well. I'll chat to him ahead of the T20 series. Don't forget, every ball live and exclusive on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. We'll be back tomorrow, as I say, but for now, this has been Following On Daily.